Hi, in this video, I'm going to do a live build of a simple order checker and escalation system. I'll show you step by step how to connect Vapi Voice AI with Google Sheet using Make.com and how to use email to escalate orders that have issues. This session is beginner friendly, meaning you don't need any previous experience with Vapi AI, Make.com or Google Sheets. I'll walk you through everything step by step. So, this project is a part of Flipbyte's AI Accelerator, where our members build hands-on AI projects every week to learn by example and by doing. We want them to understand voice AI, AI chat, and AI automation systems and concepts and apply them in real-world scenarios. So whether it's to grow their business, build a strong AI agency, or serve clients more effectively. Members also work and collaborate with each other and build complex real-world solutions together. I will leave a link to the AI Accelerator in the description below. So in this live session, we built an order status checker. The system will connect with a Google Sheet, which is used as a CRM, and when someone gives an order ID, it will pull details like client name, order status, tracking ID, and more. If there's a problem with the order, the system will automatically get the user's email from the CRM and then send them a message. Send a message to the escalation team. Okay, let's get started and see how this is built. So in the live build, the first thing is, so the first thing is that, okay, we'll go to Vapi.ai. If you don't have an account, pretty straightforward. It is just to create a regular account. And I think they don't have anything which is called subscriptions, pay as you go service. All right. So this is what the dashboard looks like. And then you create assistants out here. Okay. Essentially what an assistant is that whenever you have a voice AI application, you will create assistants. And within those assistants, basically, you will have tools. Okay, so I'm going to take you through step by step. And assistants has tools. Now, not to confuse anyone, but tools are something which basically, if you want to talk to the outside world, okay, let's say you want to do something like I want to actually talk to someone, but I want that it should go to Google Sheets and extract all the data from there. Okay. Now that is basically telling Vapi that go outside, go to the CRM and get that data. Now that's an outside external thing, right? So when you do that, you need tools, essentially functions out here. Okay. And we'll go through this, how to do it, and you'll be much more clearer. But I just want to give you an overview. So these are the two things, assistants and tools. Assistants are the main thing. They are the main body. When you give somebody gives a call saying, hey, um, I want to I'm calling from ABC Corp or something like that. Anything like a AI receptionist, that is where you create an assistant, and assistant has tools. So you can have tools which are multiple. Okay, so something can, in our case, let's say it's a order status checker, which checks the status. That's a tool. Okay, then we want to send an email. That's a different tool. So you will create tools and then you will attach them to the assistant. So that's the gist of it. All right. So one second, let me just close this somehow. Oh, okay. Okay. So this is, yeah, let's not go into workflows. This is a little off topic. I mean, it's a little, Vapi actually had workflows which they introduced. So I think it's kind of buggy basically. Otherwise, I would have taken you through that as well. But this is not the time for that. Okay. So when you create an assistant, let's say for our project, we wanted to create an order status update, right? So for that, you will create an assistant and then you will create tools within that or functions. You can call them functions as well, which will talk to the outside world. Okay. So how to create an assistant? The first thing you'll do is just click on create an assistant. You can call anything, like, so let me just test it right now. I'll call it, oh, actually I'll call one, uh, just one second. Let me just copy this order status update. So let me just call it order status update live. All right. So that's it. And after that, these are pre-built templates, which we won't use. We'll just use a blank template. Otherwise, if you want to use, you can use one of them. But I mean, for our purpose, actually, we just create a blank template. Order status update live, go and create an assistant. And there you go. That's it. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Now, within an assistant, you have a lot of functions. Okay. A lot of settings. So you have a modal, you have transcriber, you have voice, functions, advanced, and analysis. Now, we can't cover everything right now. And to create a basic assistant, you basically need two. One is the model and the other is voice. and I'm going to and the function also, and I'm going to take you through them. If you want to actually go through all the settings, then I definitely recommend that you should see one of the videos. I think I had, this is one of the videos you definitely need to see. Just one second. For some reason it's slow. Oh God, come on, yeah. I think for some reason school is really, really slow today. Uh, okay, so this is the video I'm talking about. When you go here, this one R, okay? Vapi deep dive. This is the one. It is in the accelerator as well. Everything is right there. And if you have any questions, just definitely let me know. But what it does is I'll walk you through every setting out there. And this is a 1 hour video which walks you through literally everything. So if you want to use those settings. But in most cases, you will not require that. If you just want for this project, you will not require that. When you're actually doing something more advanced, then we'll actually cover one by one. But if you want to go through everything, you can definitely do that. Okay. All right. So in model, the first message, this is the message when you call the assistant. Okay. This is the message which comes alive saying, hi, my name is Beth, or hi, my name is Eden. How can I help you today? And so on and so forth. All right. And this is the system prompt. The system prompt is nothing but actions. Like basically, you want instructions, not so actions, instructions for the voice AI assistant, what you want them to do step by step. Okay. So I've written out here, one second. Okay. No, it's not here. I'm just going to open it. To save time, I've already written it, but I'm going to go through that really quick. Accelerator project one prompt. Yeah, this is the one. Creating is better. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see it. Okay. So this is the first message. Okay. You are an order status for assistant for ABC Corp. So this is the first message. This is the first message that goes out here. You are an order status assistant for ABC Corp, responsible for helping customer check. Oh, this is the role. This is not the message. I think I forgot to copy the message. That's okay. We'll do it right now. Let me just copy this, or maybe later. So I can say, hello, my name is Mike. Can I please have your what are we looking for? Order ID, I think. Yeah, order ID. Okay. So I can look up your details. So that's it. Hello, my name is Mike. Can I have your order ID so I can look up your details? So this is the first message the system, the Vapi system, asks the person. Okay. And then once he says that, this is when you start the AI assistant. And then after that, you will go into this. So now let's define what exactly are the different components of the prompt. So the way I wrote the prompt is pretty straightforward. Your role, you are an order status assistant for ABC Corp. You can call it anything you want, ABC or maybe Google or whatever you want to call it. Responsible for helping customers check their order status using their order ID without needing to speak to a human agent. Okay. So order status retrieval process. Now this is the role. And then what you do is order status retrieval process. Ask for number one is ask for order ID. So you'll request the caller to provide an order ID, reconfirm the order ID. Once the caller provides the order ID, confirm it again to ensure accuracy. I'm sorry, guys, just one second. Dheeraj, to make sure, can you see that if somebody, because I don't have access to the screen, that other thing. So just in case somebody else is joining, uh,
Uh, no, I
nobody's joining, right? I just
no, I
forgot.
don't. I don't have that. I can't see
Okay,
if
no,
anybody
it's
else
okay. It's
is
okay. I think
waiting.
nobody else is there. I think nobody's waiting, hopefully.
No, I don't
Okay.
have that. No, no.
I think that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully nobody is waiting. All right. Okay, let me get back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so in this case, when you've defined the role, now you say order status retrieval process. So ask for order ID, that's the first thing. So the system asks basically what is your order ID. So you write that. Okay, request the caller to provide the order ID, reconfirm the order ID so that it just makes sure that this is the prompt basically confirms that whether your order ID is 123 or sometimes your action is different, so it can get jumbled up, but it just confirms sort of thing, right? The third point is retrieve order details. Now, at this point of time, what you're going to do is when he says that, okay, my order ID is 123, it calls the order status checker tool. So initially, when I told you, this is the external thing. This is the status checker tool to fetch real-time order details from the CRM. Now, in our case, the CRM is Google Sheets. I should have opened that, but for some reason, I did not. Uh, uh, start go on. Accelerator. Come on.
It looks like it's down four. It says AI agent for order status updates.
Where is that?
One more up, up, down two.
Yeah. For some reason, it's not opening. I don't know. Man, what is happening? It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Can
Are
you
you
can
in the right?
you refresh the page, Sandeep?
Yeah, I can refresh the page, but it's just not working for some reason. You have all of these things keep on happening the moment you have, when you're presenting and all that jazz right now. It's okay. I,
That's Murphy for you.
yeah, I know. That's all right. We'll get to it. What is the deal with everything right now? Wow. Okay. Like this is okay. This has never happened. For some reason, this is just yeah, guys. This is not opening.
Can you open it in another tab instead of trying to just click on it when it does populate?
Mm, okay, I think this is the one. Oh, perfect. Thankfully, that was in the history. All right. Nice. Not bad. Okay.
Otherwise, I think I also have this open with me.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So I got that. Okay. So where was I? All right. Yeah. So when I say use the order
Uh,
status checker tool.
Sandy, just 1 second.
Yeah.
Just a very quick one, and I think Alexander has a very relevant point in the sense he said that while we are in this use case, we are asking for the order ID, which is
Mhm.
not something that probably a user would know. But like I mentioned in the chat, Alexander, this is mostly for demo purpose. But obviously, a real-time assistant would have access to so when a call comes in, you would know the number that is calling you, and based on that number, whatever CRM you're using, if you want to really do it properly, you would be able to filter out with that number and say, okay, this is Dheeraj calling, and Dheeraj's the last few orders are this and the status is so and so,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
you will probably already have. This is purely for a
This is very, very,
demo
guys, this
purpose.
is a very basic system putting together, and this is not a real-time system. Okay,
Yeah.
so real-time system, you'll actually have much more complicated things and we'll get to that. We'll get to one of those projects because essentially what we want is that it should build the base, it should be strong, right? You understand how it works. Then, of course, when you actually call up any system, it will ask you for your phone number, and then it needs to make sure that, okay, you're authentic. In that case, you probably have a passcode or it actually knows certain things about you. So those things are important. But obviously, this is a very, very basic, a very rudimentary system, if you may. So, and that is the reason is simple. I just want to make sure that, okay, everybody understands the basic concepts of how to put it together, and then we can actually escalate to other things as well. Okay. Okay. So retrieve order details. So use the order status checker tool to fetch a real-time order from the CRM. So now what the system is going to do is it will use make.com, and I'm going to show you that in a bit. And then it'll come here and it'll say that, okay, when you say order ID 123, it should retrieve all the details for this particular row. Okay. And similarly, if it comes here, it should retrieve all the details for this particular row and so on and so forth. So you'll see that right now. Okay. So then inform the caller. If the order ID is found, say great news, first great news, Jake in this case, if it's order 1, 1, 2, 3, it'll pick up the first name and stuff like that. I couldn't, and if in case the order is invalid, it'll say order ID does not exist and then re-enter order ID. Okay. So this is a very basic prompt which I've written. I'm like, so, and this is plain English. Like one, ask for order ID, second, confirm order ID, third, do this, fourth, do this, and so on and so forth. All right. But when we actually put it, now you have two choices. One, you can do it like this. You can easily put it directly. Or the second option is that you can do it in a markdown format. Now, markdown format is a format which the most of the AI systems, they understand very well. Okay. I mean, it is because it bolds certain things, it puts hashes and everything whatsoever. So especially for open AI, generally, whenever they use that, it's formatted in such a way that it is very easy for the AI to read that. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so just go to ChatGPT, and all you have to do is when you write your prompt in a in a basic way, then what you do is you will actually just say markdown, create a markdown format for this, create a markdown format. Okay, and then just format, sorry, and then just paste this detail. Okay, so I've just copied and pasted this thing. So, and then just say see, and it's created this for you right now. Now all you have to do is, and it's pretty straightforward. So I think one of the questions, I think one of the guys had asked me, Roshan, I guess, had asked me the question that, you know what, how do I use this markdown format? So how do you use ChatGPT for this thing? So this is one of the ways you can use it. And there are many other ways. So I'll show you as and when we progress how to use ChatGPT and different models to basically kind of make your life simpler. Okay. Especially when you're doing the voice AI. So now you copy this, go back to your system. Let's go back. Where are we? All right, here. And that's it. And then just paste this out here. So this is your prompt ready. And I think your role is here. Order status checker process. Perfect. Everything is perfect. Okay. So now just to save it, you need to publish it. Okay. So this is the basic assistant. So we have created an assistant right now. We have put in the first message, we put in system prompt. Now there are certain settings which you need to do. The first is the provider. Now, what is the provider? You can use any LLM. This is the basic, this is the core, okay? Which system you want to use. You can use OpenAI, you can use Anthropic, Google, Grok, whatever you want. In our case, we're using OpenAI. And then you can select the model as well. So in case of OpenAI, you have GPT-4o, GPT-4o cluster. This is the one which I'm using, 4o mini, 4.5, and so on and so forth. So for our purpose, basically for the demo, and again, you can test this thing with different models and different results will come out. For me, I've tested quite a lot of them. And then for me, I mean, I think I use 4o. This has been I mean, it's pretty decent, but I've not used Grok. I've not used Anthropic. So if that works with you, then yeah, you can try this out. All right. Then you have files. Now, this is files. Basically, this means that, okay, the knowledge base. All right. And if you have, in our case, we don't have a knowledge base, but if you're creating an AI receptionist, which is supposed to take calls and then answer questions, then you will use an AI receptionist. Sorry, not AI receptionist, the knowledge base. And if you want to create a knowledge base, what you'll do is you'll go to files. Let me open another tab. Okay. So let's say you have some files. In our case, it's Sky Dental Clinic is one of the, I've used quite a lot of, I've used this in quite a lot of videos. But if you have, let's say, any PDFs and everything whatsoever, so you add it out here, all of them, this is your knowledge base. This is what you attach all of them out here. And then when you go back to Vapi, you will open this and then you will select those. So the documents which you select will become your knowledge base. So let's say if you have 10 PDFs out there, 15 PDFs out there, you will add all of them right here in the PDF out here in the section. And then after that, you can add this out here. The moment you add that, let's say, for example, if I add these two, then this becomes the knowledge base for this particular assistant. Okay. In our case, I don't want anything, so I'm just going to remove it. I just wanted to show it to you. So this is how you attach the knowledge base. All right. Temperature. Now, temperature is a setting. I mean, depends on your use case, but in certain use cases, you want the system to only reference your own material. When you say temperature is higher, it basically means that the system starts hallucinating. It becomes more creative. Now, in certain cases, it may be valid when you want that creativity factor. But in case, let's say you're using that, it should only use your dental, in our Sky Dental Clinic example, it should only reference to the PDF which is attached. Then you will only use then you will reduce the temperature. I mean, zero point 0.3, I've seen that it works good in the sense that because it's an LLM at the end of the day, so you have to give it some breathing space. If you do it zero, then it will only reference to that word by word, which you don't want. Okay, so zero point 0.3 actually will reference to that material, but it will be it has some creativity factor in. Okay, max token. Max token essentially means that what exactly, how many tokens should it use for the response? Now, for voice AI systems, I recommend it should be about 250 to 300. Keep it between that. And because the thing is that the smaller this number, the better it is. When it, especially when it is responding, you want answers to be short and crisp. Otherwise, if you make it to 500 or 600 or 800, what is going to happen is that it'll start blabbering. It'll just keep on going and going and going, basically. So you don't want that. So if somebody says, hey, what's your order ID? And then you give the order ID, it should, take the order ID, immediately do its thing, but rather than telling you about everything else as well. Okay. So that is where the max tokens come in. Okay. So make it 250. So this is the basic setting for the model page. Okay. I'm just going to publish this. The next is the transcriber. We don't have to go into that detail right now, but they are different providers. We generally, by default, you use DeepGram, and of course, they have a Nova 3 model. After this is the voice. Now, this is an important section. You need to select voice. Now, voice has got a lot of providers. Okay, so you have Vapi, you have Cartesia, you have 11 Labs, and then Play HT and all of those. I generally use 11 Labs because they're, the way the voices sound, they're pretty nice. They're very original that way. So you select this, but again, you can play around with this thing. This is not a hard and fast rule. I like it. I like 11 Labs and like Sarah. So then it becomes 1050. Again, so latency. This is a very, very important factor which you need to consider when you're choosing a voice and a model. The latency basically means that it's a to and fro. Okay. So when I'm speaking to you, let's say when you're talking on the phone, when I say, hey, how are you doing? And you on the respond, I mean, and you hear it and then you respond back saying, Sandeep, I'm fine. Now, if latency basically means that if I say, hey, how are you? After 1 second, you will hear that. Okay. And then when you respond back after 1 second, I'll hear that. So it is not a very fluid conversation. So basically, the lower this number, the better it is. It gives you a feel of a real time conversation which is happening. Okay. So this is 1050. This is high. And now you can play around with the model. So to see that how this can reduce. Now, of course, when you change it to something else, if I change to Cartesia, you see it's come to 900. Okay. I don't like the voice. That is a different thing. But this is better than 11 Labs right now. But 11 Labs has got better sound. So I'm going to choose this. And then I'm
Have
going
you
to play
tried the
this.
Vapi one? Because they just updated their voices on Vapi to make them
Oh,
sound more realistic than 11
really?
Labs.
Okay. I've
Yeah.
not used that. Okay.
I believe they're pretty decent. However, I've also not really tried. But I think this race is going on, and 11 Labs, I'm sure in a day or two will have something.
Much better. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now you have the model. So in the model, basically, you have Turbo V 2.5, which is a good model. It's been there from the very start, but they have come up with something called Flash, which is even better, and it's much better model. It's this thing. So when I switch to Flash, you'll see it is reduced to 725. Now this is what you want right now, and so I'm going to go with this right now. Okay. So I'm just going to publish this, and our basic system is ready. This is assistant. We need to come to functions, but I will come to that later on. We need to, once we create the functions, then we need to attach them out here so that this assistant uses the functions. All right. So now let's go and create the functions. Now we go to tools, and within tools, I'm just, to save time, if it's okay, I'm just going to copy this. You've already done this. So let me just get rid of this. And I'm going to explain it to you how I will do it. Otherwise, I'm just typing most of the times. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to create it. It's okay. Order escalation star tool, order checker. Okay. Function. All right. So I'm going to call it. So just click on function, function tool, and then call it. I'm calling it tool order status checker live. Now remember, in our prompt, we have only order checker. So we need to change that as well. All right. So you can call it anything you want. I generally prefix it with tool, so I know it's a tool. And then it's basically, again, nomenclature, the way you want to use it. It's your choice.
So
And then,
anyone coming from a programming background, you would have probably heard of camel case or snake case. So depending upon how you prefer, but it's good to follow some kind of
Yeah.
methodology so that
So
it's
wherever
done
you're,
better.
yeah, whenever you're putting a thing together, generally, because the thing is like right now it's just one or two when you're doing it. But when you're creating a lot of tools together and everything, it can get very, very crazy. So like, for example, I generally, whenever I'm creating something, like in this case, I use this in Squad. So I use it SQ and then I'll start with a bigger letter. You can always call it this, or you can use underscore, however you want to do it. So something which is, have a system which actually, so you can recognize this is a tool, this is an assistant, this is a variable, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I did this. Now connect this. Basically, you have to have a description, and the description out here is important because it needs to be very clear. So what is it? Okay. So connect to the CRM and check the status of an order when the order user provides the order ID. Okay. So that's what it does. And the more descriptive this is, the better, because this essentially Vapi at the end of the day is still an LLM. It will take this into factor when you are, the description is important. So you just make sure that this is a little descriptive rather than just saying tool ID or something like that. Just kind of did that. Async options, we don't have to do this right now. Again, I've explained that in the video, all of these features. Now you come to server settings. All right. So what is a server setting? Now I'm going to introduce you to something called make.com. Okay. Now make.com, I don't know if in case you've heard Zapier or Make is essentially an automation platform. What it does is that Wapi wants to talk to Google Sheets, okay? But they can't talk to each other. So that is where Make comes in. It kind of connects everything. So that is, you can see, and it connects with a lot of things, right? So let me just log in right now. Okay, go side. And again, you can create an account. I have an account, the demo account, but it's, it's it's a pretty, it's not very expensive. It's about $10 for a basic plan, which gives you about 10,000 operations. Quite frankly, for a lot of you guys, basically, it's very affordable. It's very nice, and it's got a very good interface. All right. So this is Make. Okay, and this, when you go into scenarios, this is where you create a scenario. And actually, before scenarios, let me show you some templates so you have an idea. Okay. So in a sense, Make, what it does is that, let's say you want to generate chat GPT completions from Google Sheets, or add sync Facebook lead. You can see sync Facebook leads with Google Sheet, or send a Gmail email from a new Google Sheet row. So you get the idea. It has got about 2,000 apps. So it really connects with everything. So let's say you update something in your Google Sheet and you want to send an email, you can do that using Make. Or if you do something in email, if you get an email and you want to trigger another automation, you can use this platform. Okay. So you get the idea. You can have, like, you can see all of these thing, right? So save email attachment to Google Drive when something happens, or post a new Discord message on Telegram, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of templates. These are pre-built systems, but you can make yours as well, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So now you go to scenarios. In scenarios, I've created two of them. Order checker. This is the order checker, which checks for the order, and then order escalation, which sends an email when there's an escalation. Okay. So essentially, what we'll do is now we'll create a new scenario. Now let's go back to Vapi. I'm just going to close this. Okay. You need a server URL. So Vapi needs to talk to CRM through Make. Okay. But it needs to talk to Make as well, right? How will it talk to Make? So this is how it talks to Make. Now you go here and we'll say create a new scenario. And I'm going to call it order checker, because we're checking order checker live. Okay, so we are doing it right now. And then we go to webhooks. So a webhook is a system basically which actually allows Vapi to, whenever there is some changes in Vapi, it actually sends it to Make, and then Make triggers it to Google Sheets. If you have any questions on that, please add in the chat. I will definitely take it up after the call. Okay. So uh, sorry, after the presentation. So in webhook, basically you go to custom webhook, and there are three of them. You just need to remember to use custom webhook. If you use mailhook, this is for mails. Okay, when you're expecting some, when you get a new mail and you want a trigger to happen, this is the trigger which you'll use. But in most cases, you'll use webhook. Okay, so you create a webhook and you choose a hook. So obviously we don't have anything, so you'll add a new one. I'm going to add a new one. Generally, I call it the same name. So I'm just going to call the same thing so that it's easier for me to recognize and then say save. So now what has happened is basically it has generated a hook. This is a URL. So you copy this address and say save. Of course, say save out here as well. So this session is saved. Okay, now go back to Vapi and you say server URL and you paste it out here. Okay, so now you've essentially established a connection between Vapi and Make. Okay, and that then it knows now that okay, I need to do this, and there is no secret code, nothing, no secret code, this thing, and everything else is the same. That's it. So that's all you need to do. Yeah, in parameters. Now, of course, we need to add. So what are we doing? We are actually sending the order ID. Okay. So this is connected. This connects to Make, but it needs to send the order ID to Make in order for it to go and fetch that record, right? When we go and say order ID 123 for Jake or 256 for Liam, it needs to go out there and check. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I will have to add a property, and property is called order ID. Okay, name string, and it says gets the order ID. Again, you have to explain. So order ID from the user. That's it. I'm just going to say it gets the order ID from the user. Okay, and say apply, and you can say this is order ID string, which is done, and say save. That's all it is. Finished. Okay, so we are done with the order status checker live. Okay, so this one portion is done. All right, so let me just show this to you now. Let's test this. So what we're going to do is we'll go to Make. So essentially, when I start this, what it'll do is it will call the Make. It should call the Make scenario, and then we'll go it from there. Okay. So let's run it once. So when you run it, now it is basically waiting for something to come from Vapi. The moment something comes from Vapi, this will execute and get all the values. So I'm going to show that to you. So now this is connected here. Order ID is ready. Okay, everything is set. Let's go to assistants. Where is assistant? This is our assistant, right? So I told you we have to connect it in the function. Now what we'll do is we'll go to functions and we look for our tool. So this is a tool, order status checker live, which we just created right now. So add that, and now it's added. Now say publish, and it's done. Okay. All right. So now let's take it. Let's give it a go. Let me know if you guys can hear it. I don't know if in case you can hear it or not, but let's see. So talk with an AI assistant, and essentially what it's going to do is it will, when I talk, it'll say, hello, my name is Mike. Can you please give me the order ID? I'm going to give him the order ID, and then it will execute that function, and it'll come here. So I should see the order ID there. Okay, so let's see.
Hello, my name is Mike. Can I please have your order ID so I can look up your details?
Hi, Mike. My order ID is 123.
Thanks for providing your order ID. Just to confirm, your order ID is 123, right?
That's correct.
One moment.
Okay, thank you. You guys could hear me, right? Or no?
Yeah, we could hear you, and we could also hear your very
The
feminine
assistant also, right?
sounding mic.
Okay, perfect. Great. All right, perfect. All right, so now you saw that basically that's what happened, right? So that got executed and we have an output. Now, when you open the message, you go to cool tall list. This is one. Then you go down to messages, tool call. You go to functions, you go to arguments. I know it's a big thing. And you can see order ID is 123. You see that? So it's captured now. So now we have that in Make. Now the next step is for Make to get connected to Google Sheets. And now that's what we'll do. You click on that, you go to Google Sheet, and then what we need to do is we need to search rows because, and there are a lot of functions. Basically, you can see other things as well. But what you want to do is you want to search the Google Sheet with order ID so that we can get the details. All right. All right. So when I come here and then we say, I mean, it is connected. Again, you can connect with you need to connect it with your own thing. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, if you have a Gmail account, you can just say add, and then you can, make the connection. I've already connected to my email. All right, so then you go select my drive, and then after that, you need to select the spreadsheet. In my case, the spreadsheet ID, I don't know what it was, but it said order status update. Okay. My drive.
Just hang on, Sandy.
Hmm.
Alexander, you mentioned that your trigger wasn't launched. Have you put in the webhook URL in your function there?
Yes.
And didn't come through, is it?
No. And these
Hmm.
are the things that I get stuck in, and if I'm getting stuck, other people are probably getting stuck. So I'm just curious, like when
No,
something like that happens, how do you troubleshoot it?
because
So
generally,
if your trigger is not getting, if your webhook is not getting triggered at all, it has to do probably with either the URL or the tool itself is not getting triggered in the conversation.
you know what? I'll tell you what, Alexander, if that happens, right? So sometimes it is just system error. Yeah, you really can't, there is no, because to be very honest, I've never faced that. I've created a lot of tools. Once I faced that, what you're saying, and what essentially I did is I just deleted the scenario and then I recreated that and it started working. Because, I mean, it's a webhook. At the end of the day, like it should, when you give it to Vapi, and in the middle, basically, maybe 2 or 3 days back, Vapi was making a lot of changes. So it could be possible that it could not work. It did not work. Like yesterday, I was working with workflows and it just did not work. So then I gave it up basically, and then I looked at their website and they said that okay, there were a lot of errors, and they are still, it's a very buggy system. So sometimes it's just the system error. Because I mean, I've shown you right now, basically it's a pretty straightforward thing. You just add this and just put out there. In case it doesn't work, just delete that. Try to recreate it. If it happens again and again, by all means, just let us know basically, and then we figure it out how what happened, that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So this is what happens. And then after that, I have the Google Sheet. Okay. Now in Google Sheet, I'm going to call my update. What is that called? Update. Yeah. Right. Order status update. This one. Right. So I select the sheet and then it is getting all the sheet name. It is sheet one. There you go. Sheet one is this. This is the one which we are using right now. So this is essentially connecting. Now make is essentially connecting to Google Sheets. Okay. So now it goes here, table connect headers, column range. You don't want that filter. Now what you want to do is you want to check on order ID. Okay. So what is the order ID? I want that it should look, we are getting an order ID from the user and it needs to compare. That is the reason that is how we will get the record, right? So it needs to compare this order ID with what is existing. Okay. So you saw that we already have an order ID in the webhook system, right? So let's go there. We'll go to tool ID, we'll go to function, we'll go to arguments, and we have our order ID right here. Pick this up and put it here. So essentially what you have done is that you've told Google Sheet that, okay, in your column, which is order ID, I'm getting an order ID. Please compare this and then give me all the other values. All right. And that's it. So I'm going to select limit is equal to 1 because I just want one record and nothing else. Okay. Let's put it here. And I'll say save. Okay. Now the connection is established. Now, so by this time, the webhook is activated. It's going to search everything. And now what we need to do is we need to give a response webhook. We have to send this thing back to Vapi, right? So it needs basically that, okay, it's got to send all the values back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a body. Now, this body needs to be in a certain way. All right. And that is the format we should use. So you'll go to Vapi API docs, introduction to Vapi. Just go here and call server response format. This is a generic format. Sorry. Server response format. Is this the one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this. This is the format. This is what it needs to use. And I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay. Now let's go back to make. And I'm going to click here and I say body and just paste this here. All right. Now this is the format it wants. Now the cool there's the ID. This is ID. Basically, what ID means is that this is the tool ID, which is in Vapi. Like every tool, every assistant has an ID. Sorry, tool has an ID. Assistant also has an ID. There's the assistant ID. And then when you go to tools, every tool also has an ID. This is the ID. Okay. So essentially what you're doing is out here, you are telling, and it is available to you in this webhook as well. So when you send the response back, it recognizes that, okay, this tool asked me for this thing, and I'm going to take this stuff and I'm going to send it back to the same tool. This is what it means, right? So we need to get this value, and this is what you will get it from here. Let's go to webhooks.
This is equivalent to saying that, whatever response that we've now got, we need to send it back to an address, and that address is the ID of the tool that we're using,
Okay.
which is also available here in the webhook.
All right. So tool call ID right here. You can see that you pick this up again and just add it here. Make sure that you kill the X, delete the X, and then of course, make sure that you have the quotes as well properly done. Otherwise, then becomes a problem. All right. So tool call ID is right here. And then the result. The result comes from here, right? So you have,
Just, Sandy, can you just ensure that there is no space between the starting of the inverted commas and
hmm,
the, no,
oh, maybe there is
no,
no.
just do a control Z on that, Command Z, or just, uh, I would recommend, where the tool call ID is, just first put inverted commas there and delete everything
Yeah,
else, and then
yeah, do it again. Let me just do it again. Okay. All
just
right.
delete the X and then,
Yeah, delete the X actually. That's it.
yeah, just keep the cursor there and then drag this there. Or if you just click on it, it'll be fine. Just click on the ID. Yeah, click on
Okay.
it. If you just click on it, it'll be fine. Just
Really?
try. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Just have the
Put the
cursor there.
cursor
Yeah.
there
Now just,
and oh,
yeah. Yeah. I think you clicked twice, perhaps.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Basically, I mean, if it gets an error, then there has to be some issue. We figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so now this is done. The next is the result, right? So what I need to do is I will go here and we have the order ID. Now I want the first name. Let me just get the first name. Okay, and I can write something like first name like this. Then I will go and say comma. What else do I want? Let's get uh, let's get the email ID. Do I need the email ID? Maybe no, I don't need the email ID. I'll take the order status. Okay, so I'm just gonna get the order status and like this order status, and then maybe the tracking number also. Okay, tracking ID. We call it ID only. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it. So the result is there. I'm going to save this and I'm going to save it right here. That's it. Okay. So now this system is done and let's run it and see what happens. And it should basically, ideally, it should go and fetch all of these things, but that's ideal situation. Okay. Let's go to assistance and let's go here. And you see, this is running right now.
Name is Mike. Can I please have your order ID so I can look up your details?
Hi, Mike. My order ID is 123.
Thanks for providing your order ID. Just to confirm, your order ID is 123, right?
That's correct.
Just a sec. Great news, Jake. I found your order. Here's the latest update. Would you like any additional details?
Okay, I think it did not run.
Give me a moment.
Now one
No,
second.
no, it did because it went, I think it said Jake and
Oh, okay, okay, it did. Oh, shit. Okay,
yeah.
so you can see everything is right now. Okay, so it worked. Oh, I just, I just killed it for no reason, anyways. So it is working right now. So it came here, it came to the same, and it says Jake. The first name is Jake, and you can see out here the first name. So it picked up the Jake, it picked up the status, and it picked up the tracking ID as well, right? Right here. Order status, your order has been confirmed, and this is the tracking ID. Okay. So
Can
essentially,
you maybe if you just go step by step into starting with the webhooks output here? Yeah.
okay, not a
You
problem.
see
So
in
I'll
the
do that.
message. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go here. So when you see this, so when Vapi starts off, it'll come here. Okay. Now this webhook basically has, as I've shown you, this has what do you call tool ID, function, arguments, order ID. Okay, this is the order ID which came in. So then this order ID has been passed to the Google Sheet, which again, this is the input to the Google Sheet, which was 123, and then it got the output, which is like, okay, order ID is 123. I'm gonna get Jake Thompson. It compared everything out here, and then it got all the values from here. Your idea has been confirmed, this, and then it got all those things. Okay. And then what it does is then we pass it to this side, right? We actually said this is the tool ID, and we want this extracted out of Google Sheet. And that's what it did. So this is the response which is found. And this response is now back to Vapi. Now it's gone here. And that is how Vapi knows basically that, okay, this was your RID and this is the order status and this is what happened and so on and so forth. All right. So this portion is complete. Now, the other part is basically what it says is that, okay, handle invalid order ID. So when it says that order ID is not there, you need to confirm order status check. Oh, one thing is that I don't. Okay. Uh, I could not choose tool ID. Okay, escalation issues. Sorry. This is the sixth portion. Okay. If the order status indicates a delay cancellation, um, run the order escalation tool to escalate and notify the support team. So essentially, what it does is this is one of the scenarios which I had. This is one of the. I mean, within the project, this was one of the scenarios which we need to do that. Jake is fine, right? Jake is that order is confirmed and everything. But if you go down to Sophia, no, Sophia is also fine. Your order is currently in the custom clearance. Okay, so that's fine as well. But if your order is awaiting payment or order is delayed due to certain reasons for Rajesh, what it's supposed to do it is supposed to basically send an escalation email automatically to the support team. So now for that, basically, we need to, again, as I said, if you want to do something, you need to create a tool. So if in Vapi, what we'll do is now we will create another tool called order. We can call it in modern arcade tool order escalation. I called it. So I'm just going to copy this, but I'll call a new tool function and I'll call it live. Okay. And let's go here. I'm just going to copy that again just to save time. Order checker escalation. Okay, shit. Let's save this escalation. Okay. So what it's doing is send an escalation email to the support team with the order ID and the order status. So essentially, if there is a problem with the order, it will actually trigger an escalation email automatically. Okay. And then once again, this is a tool. So what we need to do is we need to now create it. We need to connect it to a make scenario. So this is the second. The first one was that, okay, just get the checker. I mean, there are different ways of doing it. You can actually do all of these things into one. I don't like that. I generally prefer, each tool doing a separate thing so that it is much easier for me to debug. Basically, if there is a problem with one, I'll go out there and look at that. Okay. But a lot of people actually do everything in just one using routers and things like that, which is, of course, I mean, it is, again, the way you like to do it. It's nothing, there's no right or wrong answer. The way you want to do it, you can do it. So, but I like to break it down. So again, we go to order checker and we'll create something called, we go to this thing and we'll call this order escalation live.
Stanley,
Yeah, I know, I saw that here. Okay, there you go. So again, the first thing is we need to connect something which will help Vapi to get all the data and pass the data along to Make. So again, we have a webhook. Go to webhook, custom webhook. Okay, and we are ready now. Let's copy this and then go to webhook, add a new one. Again, you can't use the same webhook. Every tool needs to have its independent webhook because it's a separate URL. So it needs to be called. Okay. So just remember that you cannot use the same webhook for everything. You'd have to create every new scenario needs to have a new webhook. So order escalation live is right here. Then again says save.
yeah, so just make sure that you have separate names for every webhook.
Yeah. Okay, so now you say copy address to clipboard, same thing, save it. Go here and save this as well. So this saves the scenario. Let's go back to this side. And within our escalation tool, what we'll do is we'll just say paste. And this is ready now. Okay. Again, so I think in this case, what we need to do is we need to send, what do we need to send? We need to send some properties basically to, let me save this. So this would need an order ID. So I need to send this, essentially this particular scenario, what it's doing is it's going to send an email out. That's it, okay? So it doesn't have anything right now. So you need to send everything. So what you need to do is you need to say that, okay, fine, I'm going to send an order ID. Okay, string. So I'm going to say save. What else is there? There are a couple of things in escalation. I think I've ordered order ID, first name, and order status. So first name basically because if you want to call them again, this is first name of the user, order ID, add property. Users first name and then the order status, right? So I'm going to say order status of the order. Okay. When you're creating that, just remember that you have three data types out here, okay? String is, again, if you're sending number, let's say, because there's an order ID, we can actually do the number as well. But anyways, I've done string, so it's okay. But if in case you're sending some number, like, again, there's an ID or it's an employee ID or something like that, you can use a number as well. So they've added more actually, yeah. Initially, till yesterday was only three. So string, number, Boolean, object, that's a different one, and array. I've not explored that, so I can't comment on these right now. But Boolean is like when you want to send true or false. So if you're sending something like, okay, is it like black, yes or no? In that case, you will say a Boolean so that it's just a true or false. A number is a number basically, and a string is anything which is like alphanumeric and numeric characters together. Okay.
An object could be, for example, uh, a body which is like a JSON, which has a key value pair, but let's not get into that at the moment. And
I mean,
similarly,
not right now, not right now.
yeah, an array would be like a list of let's say colors separated by commas, or fruits separated by commas, or something. Essentially, a list of similar items.
We'll get to that once we actually do more complicated stuff. We'll definitely will be covering these things, but later on, because I mean, again, array and collections and objects are like we use that in programming essentially. So we don't have to do that right now. The data types for you guys, easy ones is generally most of the things are string. Otherwise, it'll be Boolean, which is true or false, or number. So just stick to that for now. At least the projects which we're doing right now, you can easily do that with these. All right. Okay, so the parameters, we have defined those. We have the server URL. So I think we are all set for this one as well. So I'm going to say save orders. So this is tool order escalation live. Okay. And now what I do is I go back to assistant. One second. Order escalation. Okay, so now we have to go to functions. And out here, you can say tool order escalation live. Okay. So once you do that, now it's connected. So say publish, and that's it. So now it should work. Everything should work now. Let's say if you go to assistance, and that's it. So now it's connected. Let's test this out. So now we'll build this up. Okay. So what the first thing, anyways, we don't have the values. Yeah. One thing I wanted to show this to you live as well is that you need to run this once, okay, with the system so that at least it gets the values. Otherwise, if it doesn't have the values, then you really won't get anything. Let me show that. Let me show you what I mean by that. Email. So when you want to send an email, okay, that's it. Send an email. But if you see out here, when I say subject, when I click on this thing, there is, remember in last one, all the values were coming. But in this case, nothing is coming because make does not have anything right now. Once you run the system and it runs even once, everything comes in the webhook. When it comes, all the values come in the webhook, then you can use those in the email. All right. So I'm just going to unlink it for now. Save this. Oh, oh. Yeah, I'm really getting ready to do this. I don't know how. Okay. Okay. Uh, okay, this is fine. Oh, sorry, I just unlinked it. Okay, so let me just save this right now. Run once. This is running now. Okay, so let's see. Scenario. Go here. Okay. So this is the live scenario which we have, right? And this is the order checker. So we need to run the order checker as well, and we need to run this as well, because once we run the order checker, this is what is going to get the values, first values, okay? And then, so run once, wait for new data, right? And then after that, we will open another one. Okay, and that is order escalation, this one. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's run this as well. So now both are running. Now let's run our system, and it should actually at least pass the values. Okay, so let's see what happens.
Hello, my name is Mike. Can I please have your order ID so I can look up your details?
Mike, my order ID is 256.
Got it. Just to confirm, your order ID is 256, right?
That's correct.
This'll just take a sec. Great news, Liam. I found your order. Here's the latest update. Would you like any additional details?
Now, could you give me the what exactly is the status of my order?
Sure thing. Your order is awaiting payment confirmation before we proceed with shipping.
Okay, can you escalate it, please?
Hold on a sec.
Okay, perfect.
I've escalated the issue to our...
Okay, okay, perfect. So it's working again. Okay, so now you saw that. Okay, the first scenario got done. Okay, and everything it went.
Actually, I think in the order status sheet, the third row is the one which has the delayed one.
That's okay. Basically, it doesn't matter. So even if
I think
it
you just
doesn't have a
asked it
track,
to
yeah.
escalate it, so it was able to escalate it too.
Yeah, so no, but the reason I escalated is because it doesn't have a tracking ID. So that is the reason it actually went for tracking, went for escalation. So
Yeah.
yeah, we can actually do this as well. So both of them.
Yeah, but I think that worked really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you saw that, okay, the first, so if you go back now and you see that if there's an escalation, if the order status indicates a delay, cancellation, or any issue which doesn't have a tracking ID, it will start off run the order escalation tool, okay? And then follow up with the email shortly. I see you might be having an issue. Let me order escalate. And then send an escalation email. So obviously now we don't have, this is not connected. So it cannot send an email, but we'll do it right now, okay? So once we do that, once this scenario runs, now you have all the values. Okay, so again, same thing. When you go to tools, you go one and you go to tool ID, a function, arguments, you can see order ID is 256. It just picked up Liam from the sheet and it has picked up the order status as well. Perfect. Now let's connect this by like this, and then now we can make this, all right? So again, I have connected this with my own email ID. Okay, but you can just say add and put your connection type, basically whatever you want. So mine is, I've used my email. All right, save messages after sending, no, and then you need to build this up. Now subject, when you click on this, now you have all the details. So subject could be you can say customer escalation of order ID. And then, so customer escalation of order ID, this is your subject. You go back, tool ID, function, arguments, and then you have this order ID and just use this out here. That's it. So your subject will be customer escalation of order ID 235 or 1 through 6 or whatever it is, okay? Content, I can say, again, so subject is their recipient. Now, who do you want to send it to? Oh, see, I just messed up one place.
I don't think we took the email ID,
Email.
right?
Yeah, I didn't take the email.
That's okay.
But
But
anyway, it will
your
CC it out. But, yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem.
You
So,
said you wanted this to send it to your email, which is the customer support, to be
yeah.
alerted.
So, yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That is the reason we didn't take the email. Yeah, sorry. I forgot. So, yeah. So let me just use one of the emails which I have at hello@flipbytes.co. This is my flipbytes.co. Okay. This is the customer support email, which I'm using. Okay. And you can CC to somebody else as well. So let's say if the guy is, I mean, if we had an email, we could have used that, and you can add into CC, but I'm just going to not do that. All right, customer expectations. Content can be something like, uh, hi team, please look at this email. Look at this issue. And then this is order ID is this, and order status is, typing is really bad here, is this. Thanks. And we said thanks. Support team. Hi, escalation team. Okay. So this is the email which will go out. So please look at this issue. And then, of course, the order ID is what? So the order ID we need to put in, we'll just pick up this one and just put it out here. Order ID and order status is, again, we pick up this one. So essentially, we're telling the escalation team, this is the order ID. Please have a look, okay? And that's it, nothing else. So we have the team, and then we say save, okay? And then save this scenario as well. And now, hopefully, it should send an email to my email. All right. So let's try this out once again. Let's run this. This scenario is running. We go back. We run this. New data. Okay, so this is running as well. Okay. And now we run this as well, live. Talk to an assistant. I'm just going to change it. Okay, fine, forget it.
Hello, my name is Mike. Can I please have your order ID so I can look up your details?
Yeah, my order ID is 256.
Thanks for that. Just to confirm, your order ID is 256, right?
That's correct.
Hold on a sec. Great news, Liam. I found your order. Here's the latest update. Would you like any additional details?
Could you tell me what is wrong with my order?
I see there might be an issue with your order. Let me escalate this to our support team.
Oh.
They'll follow up via email shortly. Hold on while I take care of that for you. This'll just take a sec. I've escalated the issue to our support team, and they'll follow up with you via email shortly. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
No, that'll be all. Thank you. Let me just see if I've got the email. And there you go. Hi, escalation team. I mean, of course, it's not formatted. Yeah. It's not formatted, but I got the email, right? So, hi, escalation team. Please look at the issue, order ID this. Order start, your order is awaiting payment, confirmation, everything. Thanks, support team. So it's working perfectly. So, in order for you to actually have this formatted, you can use HTML tags as well. So right here, you can use, within this, you can use HTML as well. Okay. So then it comes properly. But I just wanted to show this to you, demonstrate that this is something which is working perfectly fine now. And
And again,
yeah.
for, if you want the body to be formatted as HTML, just like what Sandeep had shown us for Markdown, you could again just put it in Chat GPT or Grok or wherever and just say
Yeah,
that.
that's correct, basically. So if you want, let's say, for example, if I want this in HTML, basically just copy this, put in this place, and just say create HTML for this. Okay, and it will create an HTML. Then you can use that. All right, so I think we are. Oh my God, we are already over time, man. Anyways, but I really want to take the question. So this, I want to show this to you. So this sort of, hopefully this was helpful. Okay, so now I can take the questions as well. And let me just, and I will share this, all the templates and everything with you later on. But first, okay, let me just take the questions first, and after that we can discuss the next project.
The one thing I saw that you were doing is it sounded like your voice bot was not responding with the actual cell that you had it programmed to. So how would you troubleshoot it so your user doesn't have to sit there and ask like what's wrong with my tracking order? Like, isn't it supposed to just be able to take that information and speak it? Is that because it's in the prompt or
Yeah,
something
that's
else?
in the prompt actually. Yes, I can change that prompt and say that, like, with the moment you get the order ID, make sure that you actually say that out and everything whatsoever. So I mean, this was just a test. So basically, I did not put that, but yeah, we need to change the prompt in order for it to actually have that. It's saying that this is the order and this is wrong with your order and everything whatsoever. And would you like to escalate it and all those things? So that is the tweak.
Yeah, yeah. Just to add to that, uh, again, this is where your model comes in. So, if you recall, we started out by using GPT 4.0. And if you chose some kind of an inferior model to this, you would probably run into problems, especially when it comes to writing a prompt where we are saying that not only will you look at the order status, but you will also be able to determine if this order is, positive or negative. The status is positive or negative. So it could be a delay, it could be, stuck somewhere, it could be whatever, it's crossed the time, or there could be a million things that could be wrong with an order or right with an order. But the assistant should be able to kind of decipher whether it's positive or negative, and that will depend largely on the model that you're using, where GPT 4.0 really excels at this.
And
So
another
it,
thing is, it is
yeah,
more, when you write a prompt, Alexander, or everybody basically, it is more of a, it is more of a sort of like, it's more of a, like, you need to, how do I say it? Yeah, not getting the word right now. It's a process, like, just put something in, then you test it and everything whatsoever, then you actually improve it, and it's sort of incremental. And then once you get your result, that is when it actually is perfect. So right now, again, this is just for, kind of demo purposes and everything. I just wanted to make sure that, okay, the whole scenario works so that you guys can understand. But otherwise, yes, it is like the prompt is not perfect. So you will be using much more detail. You need to give more instructions and everything whatsoever. So you need to tell the system that, okay, fine, follow that exact procedure. And when the user says this, do this. User says this, do this. That way. So again, this is something which is great. But again, once you have workflows and everything, this will be much more easier what we are doing right now. But right now, again, prompt is more like it is a incremental process. So again, you'll do something and then you improve it, and then again do it and then improve in that way.
yeah. And on that note, for the moment, I suggest please stay away from workflows because
Yeah, totally. It's totally buggy. So
very,
don't do
very
that right
buggy
now.
at the moment.
It
Uh,
we spent quite a lot of time after I think I saw your solution, and then I try to work on it. And that is the reason, if you see, most of the places don't have any YouTube videos, don't have workflows, because it is really buggy right now. So we literally spent 2 days kind of figuring it out and everything whatsoever, and then of course we wasted a lot of time. So right now, don't work
but,
on
but
workflows.
yeah, but notwithstanding, I think the same thing that Sandeep has displayed today. Once we have more stability on workflows, you will see the benefits of actually having workflows, because then it's extremely streamlined, and things would be
Just
much,
one sec.
much
For those
better.
of you who don't know what workflows is, this is workflows. So generally, it's more of a flow charting system. Like, it starts off, it says something, does something, and everything. Obviously, it's buggy, and I don't want to actually take your time on saying this thing. But
Yeah, I think
point is that the benefit of workflows is, if in case it's working fine, then it is like it's like a flow chart. It's perfect. The output responses, it's very clean. It doesn't go haywire. So that is the benefit. Right now in assistants, you have that. Of course, you need to improve on the prompt again and again. But in workflows, you don't have to do that. But again, don't let's not go there right now. We'll cover workflows in the accelerator as well. Once it works perfectly fine and we have tested it once on our own, then we will introduce projects which use workflows and everything, and then we'll walk you through the whole process as well. Okay. So yeah, that was the first question. Basically, that was, as I said, that was prompt related. You improve the prompt, it'll work fine. It'll perfectly fine. Any other questions? Nobody's on the call.
I think uh, in the
Okay.
chat, most of it is
I have an
We have this video, right?
observation.
1 second.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, excuse me. I have an observation. I believe it's Alexander keeps asking about um, troubleshooting. Over in the first column where it says observe on Vapi, there are 3 troubleshooting logs over there that you can look at. And with a little search over on the side over here underneath tests in the first column where the assistance is,
Right
says
here.
observe. Yeah,
Yeah.
right there. And if you dig through those logs, you can find a tremendous amount of information. Everything that it sent over is in here somewhere. And
yes,
so,
absolutely.
um,
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
pretty. It takes some work to dig it out, but and some it tells you everything that happened if something happened or failed. Well, there you go, right there.
Yeah,
So
Perfect.
but
anyway,
you'll
just an observation.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you for sharing.
thanks for that, Robert. I was actually, sometimes logs can get a little intimidating, because sometimes the language may not be plain speak, and people do tend to get a little confused with that. But you're absolutely right. Everything that's going on will be visible here. So in fact, if you look at all the workflows and all the errors that people are reporting and the bugs, they're all from here. So you'll see a lot of log reports that people are already kind of reporting on the Discord server of Vapi. But yes, this is absolutely, it's a treasure trove if you want to troubleshoot and try to figure out what's really going on.
That's interesting. Actually, they've put in quite a lot of stuff now. I've
Yes,
seen
yes.
that. This is again new. The test is new, observer is new, and
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
thing
interesting.
under
Basically, yeah, they're making changes actually, as in
there's
every day.
another update is if you go to your assistant, instead of having to physically talk to it, you can troubleshoot by texting and
Yes, I
talk.
saw that today. This chat with an assistant. That is also pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get.
that's the reason why everybody was moving to retail. So you weren't using your credits. You were able to talk to the thing and debug it. So now they added that over here too.
Yeah, they're changing quite a lot of stuff. That is it's very interesting because I just saw it today. I was like, okay, when I was writing, I was like, what is this? And then I used it, and I was like, okay, it works perfectly fine. So yeah, this is there as well. Great. Guys, any other questions regarding the flow? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, then what I can do is I will actually take two more questions. They've been asked by two community members. Let me just take them right now. Uh, the Zoom thing, I need to really figure it out. I'm sorry, guys. I'll definitely do it next time. This is,
Sandeep, so do we get the
yeah.
recording of this um
Yeah. Recording is again all the recordings which we do. All the live recordings are right here. Okay, so when you go to community, uh, where is the community? Right here. Okay, so you go to community, not the community, sorry, the accelerator. When you go to accelerator and you go to classrooms, within classrooms, you have something called weekly live QA. Okay. So after the call, what I'm going to do is for today, I'm going to put a video here and then the whole summary of our conversation as well. Everything. It's right
all
here.
right,
Okay.
thank you.
So, yeah. So you will find it right here. It's not a problem. And then you can go through the whole thing. Plus, what I'm going to do is I will also add the templates and everything whatsoever for this particular session there as well. So then you can actually see, for the templates, the blueprints, and the prompt as well. Okay. All right. And so that's, where is the question gone? Questions for session 2. Okay. So the question was by Rami Sandhu, at what stage would I be ready to go to find potential clients who may be interested in my AI automation services? All right, that's an interesting question. That is something, again, think we have released, I just sent a message out 2 or 3 days back regarding sales and marketing calls because I felt that, we are just covering the AI portions, but also we need to actually cover the sales and marketing aspect of things as well. Because if you are running a business or you're kind of running an agency, this is something which is very, very important. So I would definitely cover this, Rami, in that. At what stage it could be. That this is one of the questions basically for that, for the sales and marketing session. So I'll cover that. And Roshan said, how can I use ChatGPT or Claude effectively to fast track my progress in a project when I'm new to Vapi? So as you saw, you can use ChatGPT or Claude to kind of help you with markdown formats to kind of write down the prompt for you. So what you can essentially do is, and I generally use that. I use ChatGPT a lot, especially for kind of creating the prompt, right? So it is just like you just write the flow that, let's say, when you saying the order ID. Okay, I'm going to get the order ID of the person. Then I want it to go to the CRM, then get the values of the CRM, and then just say all of these things. and then tell ChatGPT that I'm preparing this a prompt for a voice AI system. Can you please write it down for me? And it really formats it very beautifully in a text format and gives it to you. Then you can use the same text format and kind of create a markdown format, which is easier for the system to understand. Okay. And then you put it out there. And that's how at least I use uh, ChatGPT. In later on, basically, I think this is more, again, I don't want to go into workflows. So I'll tell you how to do that. That's something which is very interesting, which I found. But once we cover workflows, I'll tell you about that. So these are the two questions. All right, guys. One thing I want to say is that any questions on the, so this is the project which is right now, which is the new project which I just posted. Okay. And essentially what we are doing is, again, very, very basic, simple system, AI customer satisfaction survey bot. What you'll do is, again, it is using the same four things which we used in this particular project as well. And the reason I put this project specifically is because you worked with these four projects, you saw the live session today, and you should be able to at least do something on the project, so it's like that. So again, it's using Vapi, it's using Make, Google Sheet CRM, and then Gmail. And what you need to do is, like, when you start, you will ask a couple of questions to the person. If he says that yes, I'm not busy, if it's a survey, so if you tell the person that okay, fine, the user saying that you use our services, are you busy, or can you take a survey? So he says yes, I can take a survey. Then you can ask these 5 questions and then add it to the CRM. So now in this case, you are updating the CRM. You're not pulling the data from the CRM. So it is a different thing. Okay. And then the second portion is that if it says that, okay, I don't want to do it, or I can't, call me up at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm busy right now, or say that if he says that I want to decline it, I don't want to do that, then you need to actually put that somewhere as well. So if I were you, basically, these are the two things which you need to do. So if I were you, I'll be using two sheets. Sheet one is to just got the responses, whether it's positive, negative, in the sense that okay, call me tomorrow, decline, or yes. And the second sheet basically for sort of like kind of capturing the survey, this thing. So it will be an interesting project because when you're updating the CRM essentially, and then what it does is, and once it yeah, and this there's another one. So in scenario where it says that okay, the customer completes the survey and says you ask them the 5 questions, and they say that yes, we really like it. So then there's a positive feedback. You will email with a Google follow-up. You need to send them a follow-up email with a Google review request that can you please give me a Google review. And if there's a negative email, then you need to escalate it. So pretty similar to the one which we did, except for the fact that this time you're writing to the CRM, and then you need to send emails twice. So basically use a router or something like that, however you want to do it, which will be two triggers. One sends a Google review, the second sends this thing. So this is the whole project, not very different. And again, very basic, but it will give you, once you do these 2-3 projects and everything, you will build a nice foundation to build on. And then we can do, appointment settings and other projects basically, which are much more complicated than this. Okay. All right. Any questions, anything for this before we say bye-bye? I'm going to stop sharing now. No questions?
I'll make a comment. Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I enjoyed this. I use Vapi a lot, and I thought I was relatively smart, and I realized, whoa, this guy knows a hell of a lot more than I do. And then,
No, nothing like
and
that.
then his developer chimes in down there below him. I'm sorry, what's your name, Alexander? No, what is?
Dheeraj.
Anyway, um, I've watched a lot of people trying to learn how to use a system, and you guys are.
Thank you so much.
I've finally settled on you. I think you're going to be the best because of the way you teach, and your knowledge is immense. So,
Appreciate it.
anyway,
Thank you
that's
so
my
much.
observation.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Alexander, thanks, Robert. Alexander, if you could just, post this question in the school forum, and let me just have a look at it and see how I can help you with this. The
All right, thank
Postgres.
you.
Okay. Anything else? Joe, Roshan, Stefan, anybody? All good? Okay, perfect,
Yeah,
guys.
all good.
All
Actually,
right. So I
last
think it's been
time
Thank you
Last
so
time
much.
I wasted a lot of time in getting an Indian number and then in workflows. So maybe this time it will be better.
Yeah, just do the projects basically. Seriously, I mean,
Yeah,
once the
yeah.
workflows are ready, we will immediately tell you guys, and I'm gonna put a project there, and I'm gonna walk you through the whole process. Because once the workflow is ready, it reduces the chances of errors, so it makes a commercial system much faster. So we'll definitely. I'm waiting for the workflows. Initially, it was blocks, but blocks was not that good, and I tried that out. Then we use squads. Squad is kind of nice. Squad is nothing but collection of assistants, but then again, the assistants are using the same prompts and everything whatsoever. So that is the reason. But once workflow is up, I think it'll be a game changer for a lot of voice AI apps. But I think it's very, very good session. I really enjoyed talking to all of you. And I'll see you next time. And definitely do one thing. Please do the project. The project too. Give it a shot and everything. Any questions you have, post it on the comment section. And me and Dheeraj will definitely respond in a timely manner on that. Okay. It's pretty late in Singapore, so good night, all of you. I'm pretty sure that okay, some of you are in the morning or in the afternoon, things like that. But have a good day. Take
Thanks,
care.
Andy.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. Bye.
No
Cheers. Bye.
problem.
Bye.
See you guys.
Yep.
Pleasure.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.